in the opening segment of this podcast, you talked about how important the moral argument is, and the value based reasons and the normative reasons. But sadly, Jonah, we're in this situation, this funny situation today in America where these reasons no longer resonate as strongly as they used to. And I think that's a whole different question we should have about our national identity and America's role in the world. But nevertheless, we are where we are. So if I was giving an elevator pitch based solely on U.S. national interests, the first point I would make is that North America and Europe account for about 44% of global GDP. We're each other's number one source of foreign direct investment. We're each responsible for the creation of millions of jobs on either side of the Atlantic. And we're each other's number one export partner. 45 out of 50 American states export more to Europe than they do to China. And when an American is exporting a product or a service to Europe, that means an American job. And this economic prosperity in Europe that facilitates these exports from America is only possible because of the stability and security across the continent that Vladimir Putin is trying to undermine right now. That's what he's trying to do in Ukraine, and that's what he wants to do with the rest of Europe. So ultimately, this could impact Americans' jobs and bank accounts. Secondly, in this era of great power competition, we are seeing the dismantling of the conventional forces of the Russian Federation right before our very eyes, without a single American firing a shot or getting shot at. And all for a relatively low cost to the U.S. taxpayer. It's a great return on investment. We could talk about the numbers later if you want. And then the final point I make has to do less with Europe and more with China. Russia and China are partners. Russia might be China's junior partner, but they are partners nevertheless. It's no coincidence that when President Xi visited Moscow in March, that same week, Prime Minister of Japan, Kishida, visited Kyiv. The regions of East Asia and Eastern Europe are intimately linked when it comes to security and U.S. national interests. And China's watching how we respond with our support to Ukraine because it has its eyes, of course, on Taiwan. And a stronger Ukraine, in my opinion, will mean a stronger and safer Taiwan going forward.